Hey peeps, welcome to my lounge room. Part 4. Part 4 is entitled, of ley lines, explaining what they are. Göbekli Tepe helped me explain ley lines using the Janus that we discovered is prolific at Göbekli Tepe on that mountain. Now, there's evidence that this Janus was a supreme god of the Slavs, which relates them to the Göbekli Tepeans, because the word Janus is very similar to him. Him, the great one, in Polish is on. And her is Ona, which sounds very similar to Janus. Im is also similar to on, so there's a relic in the Germanic as well, but it's a little bit changed. Right, before we get into that, good book I want to read, The Origins and Growth of Archaeology, but these are Camden's book from 1600, Drawings of Ancient British Coins, Britannia. So, a king or a god called Gunnar, Cano, has two faces. That is in ancient Britain. We have Janus in ancient Britain. And this is pre-Roman. These are pre-Roman coins. Look at these coins. Just absolutely amazing. They dug these up out of the barrows, and probably a lot of these do no longer exist. You would imagine these coins don't exist anymore, because a lot of what they discovered, it's in their private collection. Then the kids find it. They say, we need to clear out all this junk, and they throw it out. So that's what happens. The boar and the tree, or is it an ant? What the hell is that? An anteater in Britain? All right. Okay. Yeah. Right. Okay. Anyway, this says the old money of Britain in Latin. Okay, all right. But there we go. Janus was in Britain, and that helps me explain the Duke ley line, because I discovered it was bisecting England exactly half and half by area. And it crosses Stonehenge, Silbury Hill, Avebury here. So all are related to one another. They were all built at about the same time, or planned at about the same time. It was one master plan, all of them. And it goes up, and I discovered, and Duke didn't, that it goes all the way up, because we found Sol or Sal hills along there and wanders, because I followed the ancient map, and an ancient ordnance map which showed that those were on the line. So if someone ever wants to walk that line, that would be an epic I'm not going to do it, but that is you're going to find lots of holy ancient sites of the pyramid era. Now, what else is going on here? If you're equally dividing the area of Britain, what's the point? What's the point? Well, if you've got that Janus god in ancient Britain, you could put a Janus temple in the middle, and he's looking at both sides. So would there have been a Janus, like there's a Göbekli Tepe? Would there have been something similar in ancient Britain with Januses looking that way and that way, but also that way and that way? And hence, this is the point of having the four pyramid sides. It's like a four-dimensional Janus, a tetragod, a tetragrammaton. Maria Gimbutas would have called Janus the staff god, looking in two directions, or sometimes four, which I've said in Origin of the Pyramids 2015. Before I knew all this stuff, is kind of like it's a staff god. A pyramid is a staff god. And of course, we know that the Michael line and the Mary line points to Ra, the rising sun in the east. And the other ways point to setting sun. So these Egyptian gods are English Germanic words. So Set, the god of death, is Seth, the set of the sun, because the sun is the god. And Ra is just an English word, the rise. We've discussed that, the rise of the sun. Germanics built the pyramids. Germanics come from Asia. Do you read any of this in conventional archaeology? No, you need Dr. Koss to tell you what's going on. No. Well, you know what? And then we have Oanna, which is very similar to Janus. So clearly over time, Oanna's is mixed in with Janus, and he's like an aquatic version of the Serpent of Eden, full of knowledge, half reptile, half man. Look up the Nagos of Asia. They're always depicted as half man. Now, the centre of the Li. What's at the centre of the Li? The word centre implies there's 100 things there, doesn't it? Centenary. And we know that 100 eyes, sto naga, or sto snakes, 100 snakes, is Satanaya, the etymology of Satanaya in the Caucasus. So there is a Satan temple at the centre. Hundreds of snakes associated with the Janus. And that's also what we saw at Göbekli Tepe. Remember that Satan pillar? Even Hawass said, the pyramids are a kind of solar temple. That's what he officially said. Ra, rise, and they're associated with the Sphinx. We've said it's Ra, Ravana, etc., etc., etc. Rover the dog. Rover the dog, because he's a dog shape. And of course, Graham Robb, excellent. I always cite my sources. If you don't cite your sources, there's something wrong with you. Not you, but, you know. He found that there's always these Mediolanum cities everywhere, and what the hell are they? And he discovered they're the centre of the Lis, or the rosettes, the patterns. So in the middle. Also, that word medium, or middle, implies there would have been a monastery there, because you have the MO for mountain, so there would have been a mountain, a mount, and there would have been a monastery for the moon. The monasteries are all moon worship. Iwe worship. They're not Christian or whatever, or Buddhist. They're all for that. You look at books on Buddhism today. Something I've noticed: all the Pythagoreanism, all the mathematics is absent. There would have been so much mathematics and Pythagoreanism in Buddhist books, and now it's like people who hated all that. They're like, "Nah, man, we just want to chill, man. We just chill out before that. These are just." This is all a passing phase. Just chill out. Think about the Zen, you know? And that's what the Buddhism has become. But it was different before. I've supplied ample evidence in my videos. It was completely different before. So what have we learned? Oh, no. Look at this. This is what 1950s... Lots of 1950s paperbacks had these sorts of covers... not paperbacks, dust covers look like this. They're sort of beautiful illustrations. I found in one of them, the god of the measure. There's this measurement god. Long beard and staff. He sounds like Odin or Bud. Oda. Water. Oda, water. Buddha and Voda, water, is very a water god. Basically the earth. Made mostly of water. They would have known that. Long beard and staff denote old age. The measurement god. Anyway, there's a lot of information, but I hope to learn more from this series that I've got. It's written by Burkhardt, and he also did the illustration. He did his own illustrations. This was his labour of love, just like this YouTube channel's my labour of love. He did this as his labour of love. And he visited monasteries, and he was saying he was drawing the clothing and he was drawing the artworks and just dragon boat races. He was drawing things that he saw in the 19th century. Just amazing stuff. But they preserved many of these ancient traditions in China because China didn't collapse. It didn't have that, not that it didn't collapse, it did, but it didn't have that catastrophe that Europe had, that comet that hit in the Dark Ages, wiping it all clean, starting again. This is why some of the wokers say Westerners don't have any culture. It's because it was wiped out. Well, we do, but it was wiped out. Don't you understand? We had the comet. Massive selection pressures. The comet destroyed Europe, creating the Dark Ages. There's no Dark Ages in China or India. Anyway, and it keeps happening. It happened again. 3000 BC in Europe. It happened 1800 BC. It keeps happening and happening. Hope you've enjoyed the video. The purpose of the ley lines. What have we learned? Janus, all these gods, they're all mixed in with each other. We've learned there might have been a Janus temple in the middle there in Britain. Basically, a pyramid. A pyramid is a Janus temple because that's the purpose of having the four faces facing different ways. So it would have been a four-headed Janus. You see in ancient Ireland, there would have been a three-headed Janus. I reckon the Januses were... And I believe this is the case. I've got photos of something that was in the market square with three heads. So the Janus was in the market square, blessing all three directions. And that's the purpose of dividing the land equally. That you have one head has an equal share. Each head has an equal share to bless the different sides of the land by looking at the land. Do you see how sophisticated these people were? And of course, reaffirming our theory on this channel that these are Germanic words in ancient Egypt. You can't escape that. If someone dares to say otherwise, that's fine. But you got a lot of explaining to do if you do. Anyway, and you won't. I know they don't. They never do.